going to show you a quick neck trick, and you can start this. And go ahead and go down for a second. This is following a sit out. I'm going to kind of stay up because my mobility is not as great as it was one time. As they say, I used to be agile, mobile, and hostile. Now I'm just hostile. Okay. Now when you get out here, why you can underhook. I don't know if you're familiar with that, sucking back, or you can underhook one side and pull his chin back. And the best way, in my opinion, is to beat him right here. You just come across the face and use your head. Okay, just holler. Okay, tap it. Okay, it doesn't take much pressure. So when you do this, why be very careful with it. Okay, let's turn around so we just get a different picture here. Yeah. And okay, you just turn the man's head. You're pulling here, pushing here, and sliding it back. It doesn't take much. Push. Pulling back. I'm pulling here, pushing jab. Push with push. I'm sucking back. Yeah. Now we're going to pull back. Again, to get that shoulder. Ooh.
Jake, you hire a chiropractor for adjustments?
Yes, sir.
So you probably are aware of the front face lock. Guys, hands. Okay. So we're going to do this. This is another just quickly. You make it as a counter to a leg dive. Just going to use your wrist, turn his head, and use it. Hold here. Elevate. Okay. Are you okay? Okay. I know it. Okay. Turn up. This is cutting edge of your hand. Get in. Drag his head across and pull him down here and elevate him here. If you get a guy that's real long, tall, in other words, you're up here, you know. You can fall, he'll come to his knees, and you know if you're going to next fall to his knees, then you stand up, that he's not as tall as it. You follow? That's right. Let's go through it again. Around, turn his head. You can use the cutting edge to turn, pull down, and elevate. It doesn't take much. I want to just address a couple other things here before we go on, and that's the mental factors, the mental portion of this, because there's a mindset here that's very important. Basically, if you think you can or can't, you're right. But that can has to be on well-based confidence. In other words, you can't just say, hey, mentally, I'm going to kick this guy's butt, without doing some training. You've got to do the work in the gym. That then will help the confidence factor. You have to do the training, the running, the wrestling, the repetitions of all the things that you do, the strength work, the total package. And then a lot of times we did this with Owings, and it worked very, very well. We noticed that Gable did certain things and exposed certain weaknesses that we wanted to take advantage of. Not that Gable had many. He was a very, very good, very fine wrestler. And I think that if he'd have wrestled Owings 10 times, he would have won 9 of them. It just happened to be that particular day was Larry's. But the best time to do this, I know some of you are into the Zen philosophy, but a very good time to do it is just prior to going to sleep, when you're relaxed. You can visualize yourself. Visualize yourself doing the front face lock, or some particular move you're working on. Be a realist too. If you wrestle some guy and he beats you, don't say, well, hey, that guy beat me, I had a hangnail, or I had a cold or something. Why did he beat me, Look for the real causes of it, and then eliminate those weaknesses, and next time maybe you'll turn it down. But you have to be realistic. This is a very realistic sport. And if you have a coach that's realistic, well, he might get on your tail once in a while, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. So these are very important things. The mental aspect is very important. It's going to go through the double wrist lock, which I see there's a couple guys here that work it very, very well. I've seen one boy doing a switch and he turned it right into a double wrist lock. He said he'd been doing submission lastly. So, but I want to point out 2 or 3 things in this regard. Okay, now, if this man's arm is straight and close to his body, I don't have much chance of making this a good move. Let's just walk around here. In other words, if he keeps this thing close to his body and straight, now I can't do anything with it, so that's one thing. Okay, so if someone gets it on you, well, that's part of the move, or you can pull in and grab the skin in your stomach or something so he can't get it up. Do you follow what I'm saying? Just grab something so he can't get loose. Okay, so lesson 1. Okay, the second thing here, now relax a little, is get a little angle in it. Bend it, so there's an angle. You see what I'm saying here? Angle-wise, in other words, this is straight, 180 degrees. This is an angle. You have better leverage there. Third, if you can, take the palm and twist it, or twist at the wrist. Can you feel the difference? Okay. Or down here. I know this is quite a bit of stuff. So let's try this. Okay, let's walk around one more time. Okay. Straight, not so good. Bent, better. With a twist, even better, because it takes the slack out. Or you can twist down in here if you can. Turn the guy right here, this line. We're just basically going to go to the key line. So, but the weight on his chest. So, Jake,
yeah,
you working for pinfalls here too?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're here, you weight on his chest. There's different things you can do here too, but we just work for a pinfall here. But with the shoulders down the ground. Yeah. And your legs on your weight on your toes. Yeah. Here, yeah. Just shorten it out. Weight right on the chest. Yeah. Tell me there's everything you can do here too. I want to show you something that helps because you may not have a lot of power. Now let's say that I'm in this position and I want to get this guy's arm down and he grabs his stomach or something like that. So I can't, it's too strong. Now if I can use a little trick to get him down without much strength. So what I'm going to do, hang on. You all right? Pull, push.
Yeah.
Just eliminate the power factor.
今回は腹筋の運動を紹介いたします。一言に腹筋と言いましても、いくつかパートが分かれます。まず腹筋の上部、中部、下部、そして側面部。一つの運動でいっぺんに全てを鍛えるということは非常に難しいです。ですからそれぞれのパートに合ったそれぞれの形の腹筋をやることに。はい、まず1つ目は全体的に筋を効かせる基本の形です。 ってみてください。この際に注意すべきことは、後ろに倒れた時に決して下にくっついてベタっと寝てしまわないことです。寝ないでずっと胃に緊張を保たせてください。次は、サイドの次を鍛えます。はい、次は腹筋の下の部分を鍛える運動です。足をまっすぐにします。決して曲げないように足を揃えてギリギリまで下ろします。少し難しいやり方になりますと、もう一人手伝ってもらいます。この際にも、かかとを床につけないように気をつけてください。はい、次は腹筋の上部を鍛える運動です。パートナーがいない場合は椅子をここに持ってきて、椅子の上に足を乗っけてやる場合もできます。私たちは通常500回ぐらいこの腹筋をやっております。皆さんの場合はやはり毎日500回というのがきついと思いますので、自分のペースに合ったやり方で長く続けることが必要です。皆さんが腹筋の運動をした後に翌日おそらく筋肉痛とかが起きてくると思います。でもその痛みが、きれいな腹筋を作る元となりますので、諦めずに毎日頑張って続けてください。
これアームロックですね。アームロックの基本です。ですね、こっちあたり痛いやな。これかでなきゃ90度にしてこっちにひねるか、こっちにひねるか、3つだね。はい、もう一回ね、こっちにあれするか、90度にしてこっちにひねるか、こっちにひねるか。どうして、90度かというとですね、これだと握りますよね。やっぱり90度ですね。はい、それではこれはですね、チャンスが比較的多いです。ということは重要であるということですので、じゃあ行ってみます。はい、まず一つ。この時ですね、重要な、ことはですね、こっちではないということ。ここ。ワンですね。ワン。これから持ってきて。ツー。スリー。はい、もう一回やってみますね。ワン。はい、じゃあまず一つ目から言ってみましょう。この時に重要なことですね。まず一つ、重心に重心を乗っけるということ、完全に。それから二つ目、はい、握るところ、こっちではないということね。こっちを握る。どうしてかというと、こっち持ってるとちょっと力入れてみてコントロールができない。こっちだと比較的コントロールができるね。それからもう一つ、必ず、こっちではないということね。こ っちから肩ね、どうしてかというと、はい、こう持ってきて、はい、これを伸ばしてきて、はい、伸ばされるね、簡単に。ところがこっちから持ってくると伸ばしてみて、はい、伸ばせない、はい、はい、これでも、はい、伸ばせないね。でもって相手がですね、力を入れたらどうするか。まず一つ、体から離しまして、はい、固定する。膝をね、力と、力ではなくてね、腕と足と競争する。当然足の方が強い。でもってルームを開ける、隙間を開けるね。それでもってそうですね、こっち側の方向ですね。大体これとこれの45度ですねの方向にこれで決まります。下手なやつがやるとですね、こうするやつがいる。こうしちゃうと、はい、はい、起き上がられるね。それからもう一つ、こうやってるやつがいるね。くっついてるやつがいるわけね。はい、力入れてごらん。はい、踏ん張られる。必ずこれを離すということ。はい、ブリッジされる。ブリッジされます。ところがこう持ってくると、はい、ブリッジできない。決まります。決まります。でもって、はい、これ伸ばして。で、まあこれでまあ完璧なんですけど、力の強いやつだとなかなか決まらない。はい、伸ばされる。伸ばされたら持ってから、はい、この時も、くっつけないということね。離す。3つ目ですね。ここで手を変えると、はい、力入れて外れるね。ここで手を変えると外される。これをどこで変えるか、こっちで変える。はい、外してごらん。力が出ない方だとね、速やかに手を滑らす。ルームを OK。これがワン、ツー、スリーですね。それから一つ目のやつね、行こうと思うんだけど、伸ばして力が強い。どうしようもない、ね、どうしようもない時はどうするか。これをこっちに持ってくる。はいね、はい、力が強い。これでも決まらない時があります。どうするか。はい、手首が死んでますから曲がりますから。はい、どうぞ。はいね、はい、手首が死んでますから簡単に曲がります。必ず、ここで、コントロールするということね。これで力入れて力入れるね。これで曲げようと思って曲がらない。どうする。はい、力入れてこれを曲げたいんだけど曲がらない。大丈夫。はい、これで大丈夫。自由にコントロールできます。 決まらないことがございます。決められまいと知ってるわけね。頭がほらこっちの方には行ってないわけです。ね、こっちを一生懸命する。でも決まらないとこっちがあります。こっちがあります。はい、いいよ。はい、力入れて。力入れてグッと。はい。当然足の方が強いですね。持ち上げて下げる。はい、これで手をこうやってこうされると決まりませんね。心配いらないです。持ち上げて大丈夫。防御がありますね。普通ですね。こういう状態の時知ってるよね。はい。膝で取る。防御があります。はい。もう一回外されますね。はい。もう一回やってみて。ね。はい。はい。もう一回やってみて。外してみて。外れないね。こうやってると外れますから。はい。どうぞ。こうするとなかなか取れません。この時にどうするか。大丈夫。はい、もう一回やってみる。取れませんね。ね、まあ取れないんだったらほらこっちで首絞めるとか。でなきゃあとこういうとこですね。肘を当てて出すとかね。私だったらどうぞちょっとはいしてみて。まず重要なことはね、ここから絶対離さないってこと。離したらもうおしまいだからね。絶対にこう持ってると。はいはい来てみて。くっつけてことだ。こういうね、ここにこういうふうにして必ず下にくっつけてこと。はいどうぞ。必ずこうなるね。嘘つきはこうなるわけねえだろ。はいどうぞ。はいやってみて。力入れてこいよ。
はい、今回は、プッシュアップのやり方をいくつか紹介いたします。これはプッシュアップボードですが、実際はなくてもできます。でもあるとより一層の効果が得られますので、簡単ですので、自分で作ってやってみてください。はい、1つ目です。まずできるだけ広く足を広げます。手をつきます。できるだけ下がります。肘をマットにつけるかつけないかスレスレまで下ろしまして、そのままの高さで胸を落とします。もう少し前に行きます。ここで初めて天井を見ます。反ってください。それの繰り返しです。はい、行ってみましょう。下がります。胸をスイッ、はい、そうです。そう。このプッシュアップの効果は、腕、そして胸、またあるいは肩と全般的な、力がつきます。はい、2つ目です。これはツイストといいまして、体を芋虫のようにくねらしながらやる、プッシュアップです。これはですね、もう動きのある筋肉というんですか、ひねりのある筋肉の発達が目的です。やってみます。比較的短めに間隔を取ります。下げます。そ そしてこの位置を気をつけてください。できるだけ前です。はい、この状態から体をひねりながら頭を入れます。同じ高さのまま前に出します。もう一回逆です。これを繰り返します。はい、3つ目です。これは交互に足を上げながらやる腕立て伏せです。普通にやる時よりもより一層片方への負荷が、高まります。やってみます。はい、ではですね、胸の形を強化する運動を、今ここでやってみます。特に胸に意識をしてやってみてください。できるだけ前の方に体重を乗せて、トレーニングを続けていく上でやはり、まだ力が及ばない場合は途中で力尽きてしまう場合があります。そのような時には、少しずつ努力をするコツがあります。やってみましょう。はい、例えば途中で力尽きてもう上がらない状態になります。そういう人はまずは膝をついてみましょう。膝をついてできるだけ体重を前に預けて効かせます。それで上がらなくなるまでやってみましょう。我々はこのプッシュアップ数々を、そうですね、回数にしまして500から1000ぐらいの間を、いろんなパターンに分けてやっています。一般の方は特に普段腕などは使いませんので、急激に使ったりすると辛いと思います。そうですね、あるいは50回を23セットできるようになるのを目安に、20回何セットか、また30回を何セットか、そうやって徐々に上げていってみてください。今日1回、明日2回、明後日3回と続けていくうちに1年で365回できるようになる計算です。頑張ってみましょう。
藤原義明はカール・ゴッチに出会うことで関節技の美しさを知った。衝撃だった。美しいゆえにすごい。全ての技が自分の求めている本物の関節技だった。レスリングは生き物。レスラーは自分に満足してはならない。レスラーは完璧主義者だ。誰も知らない未知のもの、それを目指すのがレスラーだ。カール・ゴッチの言葉だ。それから21年、毎日関節技のことを考えトレーニングしてきた。関節技を知り尽くせば知り尽くすほどその怖さ、恐ろしさが見えてくる。だからスパーリングを欠かさない。相手がベテランだろうと若手だろうと関係ない。人が100人変われば関節技のポイントも100変わるからだ。
はい、ポイントはアキレス腱と同じね、この辺ですね。でも腕が長い場合はやっぱりちょっとこっち側になる時もありますけどね。でもってしっかり引きつける。肘の骨と骨を当てますね。しっかりフックして引っ張りながら押す。はい、引っ張りながら押す。 ですね、これを当てますね。それでもって引っ張りながら押します。引っ張りながら押します。肘ではなくて膝でもいいわけですね。膝でもいいわけです。こう来てこれで押して引く、これでもいいわけですね。この状態でですね、相手が、はい、伸ばしてみて、この時決まりません。伸ばして決まりません。どうするか、ここですよ、ここ肘を乗せます。痛い、ここね、骨を乗せます。押します。それで決めます。はい、これで決まります。はい、同じでこれ、はい、同じです。こうやって引っ張ってもいいしね、引っ張ってもいいです。はい、同じです。決まります。はい、同じでこれ、はい、同じです。こうやって引っ張ってもいいしね、引っ張ってもいいです。これでフックされることありますね。フックされることあります。どうするか簡単です。こうちょっとピシッとやってよ、ピシッと力やって、これで腹を出します。腹を出します。決まりですね。あと同締めっていうのがありまして、はい、こっち来て、はい、同締め、はい、同締め、まあこれも一緒ですね。こういう状態の時も、はい、これを引っ掛けて腹を出す、腹を出す、はい、腹を出します。同じです。組んでますね。ここに、隙間があります。これね、かかと入れます。こっちではですね、しっかりとここに、くっつけていきますね。状態です。それでもってこれを押さえて向こうに、はい、これ押しながら引きます。これも同じですね。こことこれですね。押して引く、同じです。これアームロックからですけど、アームロックいきますね。これで 暴れて暴れるわけよ、こうやってね。暴れる時にこう、そうですね、俺はこっちの方がもうこっちばっかりに行ってるわけね。でも俺は腕を取られまいとしてするとたまに、はい、足が開きますね。こういう状態。はい、同じ。引っ張るんじゃないね。引っ張ったら必ず押す。引っ張ったら押すんです。これもまあ靭帯ですね。こっちのね、内側の靭帯がこれ、切れます。思い切りいけば簡単ですから、気をつけた方がいいですね、これ。はい、アームロックにいきますね。こいつはもう隣前として必死だ。神経がこっちまで行ってない。はい、取る。この時ですね、ほら、ここはこれ取ってもちょっと待って、力が入りません。伸ばす、ほら。取れませんね。こうじゃない、必ずつま先を取るね。ここ、はい、動かしてみて。いいですか。はい、2本指で、はい、動きません。ほら、必ずつま先を取る。持っていくね。引っ張って押す。引っ張って押す。同じです。四つん這いになってですね、いきます。足引き入れますね。はい、崩して崩される。はい、こういう状態。引っ張ります。ワン、ツー、スリー、ダイブ。はい、膝十字固めです。入り方はいろいろありますけど、まず基本からいきます。一つね、できるだけ深く入ることね。でもって、こっちの方、こっちに来れないようにフックする。でもって、かかとを持つ。それでこの状態だと、まあこれでもできますけどね。私はここでこういうふうにひねります。腹を出す。腹を出す。ですね。で、あとまあこっちの方なんですけど、これはこっち側に来れないようにちょっと来てみて、こっち側に来れないようにですね、まあこうフックしてもいいし、まあその時によっちゃこうでもいいし、まあこうでもいいしね、まあどっちでもいいですけど、まあこっちに来れないように、まあ一番まあいいのはこうですね、やっぱりね。ひねる。膝十字固めですよね。それからあと反対側の状態になることもありますね。はい、こういう状態になることもあります。これもしっかり挟んで腹をですね、腹を出す。まあこっちでまあ力が入らないんだったらこうしてもいいしね、こうでもいいし、腹を出す。まあこんなとこだね。これがまあ基本です。ですからこの状態からですね、ちょっと締めるね。持ち上げて締める。はい、痛いからもう神経が来てないね。すぐに、取れますね。取ったらばこれを持ってきます。はい、いいですか。おお、痛いのか。硬いなお前。三角形ですね、これ。三角形。これを持って三角形です。
やるポイントはスクワットです。スクワットはプロレスラーのトレーニング方法としまして非常に有名であります。これは足腰を鍛えることはもちろんですが、単純作業を長く続けるという精神面での鍛錬も非常に効果のある練習であります。スクワットといいましていろいろとあるんですが、まず4種類をやってみようと思います。かかとをつけたまんまやるスクワット、かかとを上げたままやるスクワット、それを複合したもの、そしてもう一つはジャンプを加えたものです。はい、まず姿勢について、注意点を申し上げます。一つは約肩幅に開きます。そして決してガニ股にはならないこと、やる時の視線ですが、決して下を見ないでください。下を見ますと腰が曲がり、不安定な状態になりまして腰に非常に負担がかかります。できるだけまっすぐ遠くを見てください。これは、ふくらはぎに効果があります。かかとを上げたままでやりますとふくらはぎの筋肉が発達いたします。はい、2つ目はかかとをつけたままやるスクワットです。これも姿勢は同じです。この場合かかとをつけますと、つけたままやりますと、お尻から太ももの裏側に効いてきます。では行ってみます。それでは3つ目に行きます。これは今やった2つを複合させたものです。通常これをよく多用します。かかとを上げ下げして、スクワットをやります。行ってみます。はい、それでは4つ目です。ジャンピングスクワットです。これのメリットはまずジャンプすることによりまして急激に心拍数を上げることです。そしてもう一つはやはりこのバネですね、足腰のバネを鍛えることにあります。ではやってみます。通常私たちはこれらのことを500回から1000回近く、あるいはもう少し、やりますが、一般の方々は最初は20回を何セットかに分けたり、50回を何セットかに分けたりして徐々に増やしていくといいと思います。
だから一つはこのポイントをしっかり覚えていくと、それからあとこの自分の当てるところね、このところをピシッと決めるということね。シンプルイズベストっつってね、その簡単なやつの方がチャンスがいっぱいほらできるということだね。今ですねテープでやったのは 基本なんですよね。だからスパーリングをやってていろんな応用っていうかね、これいろいろありますから。で俺今やったのがこれが基本ですよね。例えばねほら基本はこうなんだけど、私だったらあれだもんね。ちょっと待って、ね、こうでもいけるし、でなきゃあれだもんね。これでもいけるし、でなきゃこうなったってこれだけでもいけるしね。で私はほら普通はねほらこうとかそれからこうなんだよね。いやこっちでもいいんだよ。ね、こうとかね、あとこっちでもいいしね。いろいろあるんだけど、私のやつはねあんまり教えたくないんだけどね、これをね絞り込むんです。こっちのね絞り込むんですよ。これ絞り込む、こういうね。本当はあんまり教えたくないんですこれね。秘密。腹を出すね。だからほら応用っていうのはね、例えばちょっと来てみて、こういうやつもあるしね。はいね、はい見てて、押さえるね。これからこっちに持ってくる。はい、こういうふうに持ってくるか、このところにあれだってこれ持ってくるか、でなきゃこれだけか、でなきゃあとはほらこっちへ持って、来てしまうかとか、あとはこっちへ持ってくるかだよね。簡単なんだな。これが基本です。これが基本。
Welcome to the DVD that's to accompany the Scientific Wrestling Certification Program. What we're going to do is go over mostly concepts, so you guys get the broad idea. We're not going to go over every single technique that you learned here at the certification, or if you were to come to the certification that you will learn. These are the broad concepts, and these are basic. You need to go over these basics. Coach Billy Robinson is going to go over these with us. The first thing we're going to do is movement. There's very, very important movements that you need to have in order to get the takedown into a controlled position to get the submission. Otherwise, if you don't get this stuff down as basics and you don't master it, you're going to have to always scramble, and it's going to look like a mess when you're trying to go for a pin or a submission. This is the setup for the controls. So please watch this and listen very, very closely as Billy Robinson goes over the basics of shuffling and pivoting.
First thing we're going to do is learn how to stand. It's not amateur wrestling, and we're not working for points. This is combat wrestling, and catch as catch can, best of all submission, forwards and ground. The point is, amateur wrestling with time limits, it can power very little technique nowadays compared to 50 years ago, 100 years ago, when we first started. First thing is, you don't bend over and get so low. In amateur wrestling, you do that because you're trying to defend the rights. If you do that against a good catch wrestler, you'll get a submission, often face lock, profit, double face lock. So the big thing is to know how to stand. Now the thing is, you want the weight on the balls. You don't want your legs in a straight line. You want 1 foot slightly forward, 1 foot slightly back, no wider than shoulder width. And then what you do now is you control your body weight by just bending your knees until you feel the weight go on the balls of the foot. Once you've got the weight on the balls of the foot, Now, if somebody attacks my left leg, all I've got to do is adjust my hip here now, just turn, and now I can turn my left leg back. It's that easy, either way, back, that fast. I don't, but if you've got a wide stand and stiff legs and you bend over, you can't get your legs out of the way. So the thing is, what we need to do is get that, stick your backside out and arch your back. And your hands are here. And you can defend for mixed martial arts. The punches and the kicks, but you're here. Now, very, very easily, if you want to go forward, you go with the forward leg first. One, forward up into the same stance. I want to go backwards, I go backwards. That's to the left leg goes. To the right goes. Not wide steps. You've got to keep it so good. Once I get too wide, right now I'm jamming. Because I can't adjust my weight enough to get this leg out of the way. That's why we take small steps. So let's just practice that. And Jake will call it out. Okay. I'll say forward, take a step forward, step. I'll say back, take a step back. To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Forward. Forward. Back. Back. Left. Right. Right. Left. Next up, guys. Remember, this is good. You don't have to think about this. This has to become natural to you. But if you go to the left, you never take this leg here and do that. Because right now, my legs are in a straight line here. A good comedy style wrestler, like to shoot catches, catch camera, a broken man, sweep your legs out of that suplex. So you've got to always stay in the same stance, keep your knees back and relax. Good, let's go. Forward, back, back, left, forward, forward. That's it, good, good, that's it. So basically what we've done is just step and you know where you are. But I need you, don't get stiff and don't, never allow your legs to lock out. Another little thing we're not going to clear it. If your knee passes your front toe and somebody pulls me or pushes me from behind, I can't stop myself. If my hip passes my back here, I can't stop anybody. If anybody pushes me, I'm going to knock down. So you do not let yourself get too far forward or too far back. Guys, you see a lot of guys stand with the foot out this way and here. This is terrible for combat sports. Muay Thai kickers use it for the kicking stance. That's a different sport. But like, once you get a Muay Thai guy on the mat, he's toast. So the thing is, the reason we say that is that right now, if I grab you and I want to do a salto or suplex, or I want to do a pivot or a tap, this leg is jammed because as soon as I start with power, I need this leg to be able to turn this way. If I turn this way, I can turn this way because I'm on the toe of the foot, I can turn. But this foot is pointing out, so now my hip is jammed. Now, what's left is just arm power. But if my foot's here, straight, and I get on the ball, as soon as I start to turn, I can drive off that leg to give me the power. Okay, so, one more thing. Anytime you want to make a turn, and you've got some hold of somebody, and you make the steps, you make the pivot or whatever, you always point the toe in the direction you want to turn. So, if I'm going for head and arm, hip toss, I'll grab the head and arm. When I step, I don't step with my feet straight. I'm going to take you over this way. So when I step, I'm rotating my hip. That's it. Most understanding throws come from what we call a tripping block, any kind of block on the leg or the knee or the elbow, and a pivot. So you have to learn how to pivot. Very important. Again, you do it on Jaden's shoulder. Guys normally try to pivot from here, and that won't do. All you need to do is, I don't care if it's just half an inch. You've got to make the step to get your knee alignment and your hip, and then you pivot it. And there you go. And that's exactly what it's. Jake, do it again. That's it. Good. Now then, Alex, remember, don't sit back so far away. You've got to, whatever habit is, it seems that you want to let your hips go past your heels. Don't put it, keep in your wrestling stance, yeah. Or catch stance. So Jake, do it again. Both ways. Do it left and to the right. Good. Good, that's it. So the thing is, you step, you wait. Just nice and easy step. Just relax, that pivot. That was a complete 180. I think what we should do is like maybe what we're going to do now is hand fighting or hand control, and then work it in so that when you get the hand control, you use the pivot to throw the man down and get your submission or whatever. I mean, it's very, very simple. Now, if you're in a wrestling position, if you're facing each other, guys, please. Okay, we want to start off with, somebody wants to control your hand, you go with the straight. That's it. Okay, let go. Now you can do it cross hand. Okay, now you can do it with both hands. Okay, so hand fighting is very simple. Let go. Grab with the just one hand. It's got to have. What we do now is you don't try to pull the hand out. You block the wrist. Now block it. You want your thumb around it, but you don't have to grasp tight. All you do is want to stop the movement in that wrist. Then you turn the hand that's being held slightly in to the thumb knuckle. Then drop your elbow down and lift up against the thumb. It will break away very easily, and then you grab the wrist. That's it. Good. So do it again. Just do it. That's it. Okay, now just stop a minute. Don't let go.
Not with the same hand, keep the cross hand.
Okay, you do it. When you come here, you broke. Keep this hand until you've got the wrist, then let go.
Then let go, okay.
That's it, good. Then you can slide down to wherever you want.
Okay.
But you don't ever let go with both hands at the same
Yeah,
time.
that makes sense.
Now, the cross hand is a little different because if you try to do the block the same way, you can't get the energy. So you turn your elbow in your hand the opposite way, drop your weight into the wrist, then just break against the thumb, grab the arm, and then you got it again. And with two hands, you just make a block over and under, turn the wrist so you get the block, and then drop your elbow down against the thumbs, pull it out, and grab a wrist. There you go. And from there, you can go straight into an arm drag, you can go straight into a throw, depending. That's it, good. There you go, good. Okay, so, cross hand, do the block. Only this time you put the thumb right between the knuckles. Okay, you do the same break away against the thumb. Now you put your hand underneath and grab it. Now then, when you've got it, you press the wrist in a little bit, then you lift as high as you can into an arc. Keep going with the arc. Now step in and bend over till the weight's on the wrist. Now just pivot. Now that was slow motion, do it fast now. That's good. Always finish that you've got control like Jake's doing. Control. Right now you can do a step over, get an arm bar, double wrist lock, or top wrist lock. But the thing is, that's how the pivot works. So now, we do the block with the thumb in the hand, break away, put the thumb of the other hand together. Now lift up, turn the wrist, now step in, pull the arm down a bit, and bend, now pivot. Did you feel that by pulling the elbow down?
Yeah.
How much more
What more leverage?
pressure on the wrist joint? This is another simple pivot takedown, and it starts from the over-under arm position where these boys are in now. And what it is, what we're going to do is, Alex, you do it. I want you to rotate your right shoulder around so you can drop your arm down. Then reach the arm, and then just rotate a little bit, and then bend down so the weight's on that knee. Okay, there. Now step in, point your toe. Now pivot and tap the knee. Good. Nice. Okay. Try it again one more time. Now, there you go. That's it. Pull the arm down. It's yours now. Just step in, pivot. We'll talk about the arm submission later. You try it. No, stop. Very important is when you wrestle, your hands underneath, you want to get the thumb and the forefinger behind the arm bone here. So now even if you're swimming, it won't slip. Then when you reach under behind the tricep, on the arm, not the shoulder. Now, lock your arms in and bend down, put your weight. Step. Now pivot. That's a lot better. Finish. Anytime you practice moves, I don't want you to do the move and let go. I want you to do the move, finish in a controlled position, then let go. I want you to get into a good habit. When you do footwork and any kind of throws, it should be like a 1-2 punch. If you're going to pivot or you're going to step in for a single or a double or a body hold, you don't step, grab, and then adjust with the other leg. It's you boom, boom, like a 1-2, bang, bang. So when you step, pivot. You do it, Alex, and don't stop. As soon as you make the step, pivot. As soon as you've got the arm locked, you make the step, pivot. There you go, good. So that was an example of how a pivot works. Okay, this is one of the first throws all amateurs learn, all great wrestlers learn. It's called an arm throw or a flying mare. And again, we're going to use the pivot. This is why the pivot is so very important. So what you do is, you overhook the arm, nice and loose. Okay, now turn back the other way. Okay, now then he's going to rotate his shoulder down and step in, and then he's pivoted. Now he jumps back and drops to his knees, and then he puts his head on the mat straight. Now he brings his arm backwards and around, and then rolls into him. Bring your knee, not the other knee. That's it. And that's how you should finish. We're not doing the pinfall here, but this is the way you want the control to start. Okay, now let's Do it again slowly.
Next time.
Good. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, the throw's okay, the finish is not okay. You've got to get your left leg up earlier. You've got to trap that arm on it. Now there you go, now hook his head. Good. Now his arm is trapped there. Let me explain something to you. Alex.
Yeah.
Push into him a little bit so he resists. As soon as you get the resistance, bam, explode. So I finished here, right? Look at the top. I just landed. So you're bringing this arm back. See, I'm bringing it back. Grab my arm. It makes no difference. There's no way you can stop me. Right now, what you're doing is you're going here and here. If you were to turn this way, you might take me over. So you don't want this leg coming in. What I want to do is, I want to do this leg in here, and I'm trapping your arm and elbow. Now I'm into here. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be another pivot throw, but a very common start is the collar and elbow tie-up. Get a collar and elbow tie-up, guys. Okay, now, a lot of the throws, especially in Greco and in catch, it's caused by what we call an overhook. So to get it, Alex is going to throw his arm down, rotate the shoulder, then wrap over the shoulder. Good. Step in, pivot, and hang. Kick the leg. Okay, now then, get your balance. Fight back. Now then, as he fights up, the counter is to bring his arm on the inside. Now Alex will grab his wrist, then interlock his elbows, pivot and step right between his legs and sit. And turn. When you're here, and you're going to get the underhook, you try to force his arm out. Just rotate your shoulder. There you go. Good. Put the weight on the head. There you go. Nice. There you go. Nice. There you go. Good. Guys, if you do a throw or anything, if it's good,
Yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah.
If there's any difficulty, it means your body's out of position or something's wrong.
Okay.
Nice, there you go. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a half ouch, which is another pivot type throw with head control and arm control and the pivot. And this is an ancient throw that you see from old etchings going back 1,500 years. That this throw was a very common throw in catch-as-catch-can wrestling in those days. The point being is that most people tackle and try to grab your legs, and you control the head, then you underhook the arm and do your pivot, and you finish up in the control position. If it's done right, it's very, very easy. So we'll try first. We're going to get from the start position of wrist control and the head, how to get the head locked so you want it. So what you do is you grab the wrist and the head, rotate your hip and shoulders together. Let the head slip underneath. As you grab the head, you keep hold of his hand until you've got his head. So that if you let go early, he's going to grab your legs. But if you've got control of his hand, he can't. Then you underhook the other arm, lock his head into your side, then you step and pivot. Pivot, finish on top, then come underneath the head and you've got control. Okay, good. Now let you do it, Alex, one time. When you step, push into it. Not pushing away from you, put your weight down. Then when you pivot, it's like a screw into the... Nice! There you go, finish. Good, okay, whatever. Good. What we're going to do is another pivot roll that if done right, the amateur use it a lot called running the pipe. But basically it's doing the hand fighting bit before into an arm drag. A little bit of a different arm drag is because you block the elbow and you push the wrist. You take the single leg, load it up onto your shoulder, and then you pivot. Anytime you get a single leg, you don't step in, take the leg, leave this leg here.
Oh, I'm gonna be
Step, step.
Yeah, it's always like
But always, you never go with the outside leg first.
All
You
right.
always go with the inside leg first. Step in with the right, there you go, nice. Good, step, nice. Reach underneath, step over. Okay, good. Alex, I'd like you to step over the leg instead of pulling his foot.
Okay.
But the rest of it was good. Nice. You all right?
Yeah.
Good. Lift his leg. Grab it, there you go. Okay, lay on your back just 1 second. Grab his foot again. No, don't do that. Grab the ankle. Grab the ankle, both hands. Okay, now then, what I want you to do, Alex, is jump around his leg and sit. There you go, sit back. Grab his foot. Lock it. Squeeze your knees together.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is another situation where in amateur wrestling against catch-can wrestling, is the amateurs use a lot of what we call the outside leg. That's where the head is on the inside and the arms on the outside. So the simple counter is to get an overhook tight, jump out with the leg, and then throw right underneath the legs. And finish in a strong position. There you go. And Alex, don't think, do it. That's nice.
Perfect.
That was the best one you've done, actually. You know, Willie, there's a lot of times you don't have to jump back with that foot. If he said sometimes you can't get underneath, so you jump back with the foot, and then you can slide around the head to get underneath.
I see.
That's the only reason you jump back.
Oh.
But if his head's low, you just do it.
Okay, we have covered the first of the 3 parts of wrestling, so the standing. Now we're going to start talking about being on top when you're on the ground, and then we'll, after that, talk about being underneath when you're on the ground. on. So there's three basic overarching concepts: standing, on top, and underneath. First, we're going to cover when you're on top, how to transition in some of the positions of catch as catch can and how we maneuver. Later, we'll show you how the submissions like branch off from each one of these positions. So you always have something that you can do no matter where you're at on the mat. Thanks. So the very first thing that we're going to talk about is there's 9 basic positions. Now, of course, there's many more than this, but these are just the 9 that we want you guys to understand to be able to flow from one to the next and transition rather easily, okay? So this is more of a pedagogical device to get you guys to understand the basic positions. There's many more positions, but these are the basics, okay? The first one is head and arm. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab him right under the elbow, locking in his elbow, and pulling it to my body hard. I want him breathing out like that, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is pull his head up. Now what you'll notice is this arm is at a 90-degree angle, roughly. This arm's at a 90 degree, my knee is going to be at a 90 degree, and this will be at a 90 degree once I get the position. Once I have it, I'm going to levitate my hips just about a ½ inch up. Okay? So I lock here, pull him to me, 90 degrees. Pull him to me, 90 degrees. These are 90 and I lift up. This is what I want. I want to be having him bear my weight. It's rather hard, huh? It's heavy. Okay? So this is position 1. Now what I have to be careful of is when I have it, I don't want to be leaning too far this way. Because if I do that and he bridges, go ahead, I'm gone. Okay? So I have to be careful of that. The other thing is I don't want my head too far back because he can kick his leg up. No. Kick your leg over my head. This way. Pull me back and back up. Or the other thing he can do is what he was doing before. If I'm up too much like this and I don't have anything to stop here, he just does a sit up. Now I'm in trouble. So you're gonna have to play with this live to get that sense of control. But you just want to be able to hold it. That's position 1, head and arm. Position 2, I lace under, my arms come under. And if you come around, you'll see what I do with my arms here. Come around here.
Jay, just explain. When you say lace under, you're changing the angle of your hip.
Of my hips, right. So my hips are facing up. I'm going to basically sit through, under, backwards. Now my hips are facing down. As I do that, I continue rotating my hips, trying to keep my hips and my shoulders in alignment. Now look, I'm going to shove his face and pin his bicep here. And I'm going to continue rolling and pin his face with my hip and change the arm here. So I continue pinning. Now the benefit of this is he's bearing my weight. If he were to bridge up, go ahead and bridge up, I'm on his face, not his chest. See, I'm pinning his head. The other benefit is if his arm is straight, straighten your arm out, and I do this, the arm starts bending, which sets it up for the double wrist lock, or if he's here and I grind down, it sets it up for the double wrist lock, okay? The other thing is, if he were to start to bridge, go ahead and bridge, he does that, I can reach and go for the toe, okay? So this is position 2. Position 3, from cross body, I'm gonna pivot on my hip on his face. I come here to north-south. Again, my knees aren't on the ground. I'm not being gentle on him. He's bearing all my weight. He's having a hard time. He's being very patient. This is painful. So I'm here, driving into him, making sure he's carrying the weight. So this is position 3, north-south. Now, position 4, I come around for 180, and I do a shin ride. Now that's painful for him. If you come around here and you look at his face when I do it, it's painful because my shins are on the femorals, or as I go down, it hurts even more. So I'm here, just riding. Now the benefit of this is my toes, if you come behind me and look at my toes, they're just right here. If I need to, I can just stand up again. The other thing is if you were to bridge or roll, my knees are right here. So I have that control. But meanwhile, come back down. Everything that I have is on the mat. The only thing touching the toes in any of these positions are my toes. Anything touching the mat, is my toes. So all my weight's always on the man except my toes, and those help me with my mobility. The next one is what they like to call jiu-jitsu people like to call their guard, but we prefer to call it a Saturday night ride, or there's a million other names, but we like to think of this as a dominant position for us. So I want to stay on top. Okay? So this is Saturday night ride for me. Now the main point here is I don't want to be down here. He's going to try to pull me forward, which is his strategy, which is a good one for him. So he wants to pull me forward because when I do, my hands, I have to post on them and such. I don't have them as weapons. So my rule of thumb is if I'm up and postured here, I need to maintain 3 in or 3 out. And that's 1, my head, 2, my left arm, and 3, my right arm. So I don't want to have 2, like just have the arm in because it'll take the arm bar. Yeah, exactly. Or if I have 2, so I have 1 in, now I have 2, he takes a triangle. But if I have 3, it makes it much more difficult for him, or 3 out. So just remember that, okay? Now go ahead and flip over. So I could flip him over very easily here. We'll talk about that later. That's not the point. This is the next position. So we go from Saturday night ride to crossbody with a cross face. So whenever I take my crossbody position with my opponent face down, I want to put him on the cross face. I want to turn his head. This is the most important thing. I'm going to take the blade of my wrist, cross his face, and grab at the elbow here. Once I do that, I'm already set up for submissions here or whatever, so it's important to just start from this position. It's also good for turning him over for pins as well. Okay? So crossbody, crossface. I move to the last position. You come around this way maybe, and that's rear north-south. I let the head go, and I put his head, the skull, right here in the breadbasket. And I sprawl sort of, so I'm pinning him down with it. Okay? Then the last position, with the man down, we do a reverse shin ride. As I bring my weight back, don't do it yet, but he'll do a push-up as I bring my weight back. Not every time, but a lot of times the natural reaction is when the weight's off, he's going to try to take a defensive or quarter position. When he does that, I'm going to take my right leg, the leg on the far side, and hop off and snatch his left ankle by pivoting on my left knee, okay? So when he, go ahead and come on up, as he comes up, I hop off, scoop the ankle with this, and sit down on it, and sit here. Now look at my balance. I'm not like in on this feet, my feet aren't crossed, I'm as square as I can get with my weight sitting right back. I'm not leaning into him, taking the weight off. My weight is on that ankle. We call this, come around here. This is called a ball and chain ride. There's a million names, but what we call is a ball and chain because if Alex would try to pull his foot out, he can't. It's a ball and chain. It's hooked. Okay? So in the submission from here is I just... Say again?
Can I cut in a second?
Yeah, please.
Because that was a perfect example. When Jake gets a submission here, and he's talking about just controlling the ankle, and he let go of the thigh, and Alex dropped his hip and tried to turn his foot. But if you just hold that thigh, he can't do that.
Right.
He can't hold his ankle, his hip or anything. So now, the only thing that's going to move is the toe when you grab it. There you go.
And that's just a nice little submission for you, but it's also a good way to ride this guy. You're controlling his leg and you're by sitting on it here, but you have to make sure you have good balance. Don't be sitting sloppy or keeping the weight off because now he'll pull your leg out. He just sits through and I lost a dominant position. So, the last position besides the ball and chain that we're going to talk about is what's called the side ride. Now look, the important points are, I'm not up on him at this angle. This would be a different type of, we'll show you a ride where you ride in line with your opponent. But for a side ride, my weight is up on his hips. So he's carrying all my weight in his legs. This leg is out, so if you were to try to sit through this way, he can't. If you try to gun the other way, I've got it. I've got decent control here. Now I could set up a variety of submissions from here, but this is a side ride. I'm sideways on his hips with one leg in. Okay? The last ride that we would do would be, I'm up here, and I cross my ankles like this. I'm trying to keep my knee up here, and ride on him. Now what'll happen is I'll put my arms in my way forward and stretch him out and break him down. Right? And from here I could take Nelson's or whatever, but at least I'm controlling him. I'm pinching my knees together like Thigh Master to control him. Okay, so those are the basic 10 positions that we're gonna run. Why don't you lay down, Alex, and I'll just move through them real quick. So that's it. Thank you, Alex. How'd that feel?
Oh, uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's rough
Very
being underneath.
Yeah.
Anything else to add on the experience underneath?
Can't get my breath. When I think I've got a chance to move, I get an elbow in the face or a hip bone in the eye, something like that. It's just totally disgusting.
So what we're trying to do, there's two things here. When we do this as a drill, we go through, you master the positions first, then you do it as a flow drill to get your maneuvering around. It's good for him because it's stress inoculation. He's getting all of that, learning how to toughen up. But I'm also learning how to move and transition efficiently.
What happens is you're wearing your opponent out if you're on top riding like Jake was. That's called riding. But the thing is here is that sooner or later the guy underneath is going to say to himself, I'm not going to stay here anymore. He's going to explode. When he does, he has to let an arm free, a leg free, an ankle free. His head will move, and if you're in position, you're going to get it for the submission. So it's like being a terrier, just you keep on snapping at the ankles, until he turns on you and get a throw, just as an explanation. You know, you never rush this type of riding. You make it as uncomfortable for him as you can, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if you're hurting him while you're doing it, all the better. That's what a wrestler means. It's good. So now, the thing is, okay, don't crush your feet that way. What you want to do is, that's it. But also, if you can't crush your feet, you're not in the, just hook his ankle with this leg.
With this leg?
That's it. Good.
I see.
Now squeeze your knees in. There you go. And get straight on it. There you go. Okay, come back. Now when he pushes up, cross your ankle.
So now cross him this way?
Now, yeah. Okay, now what that is that when he collapsed, you may have gone too far up his body.
I see.
You understand? So now what you would do is look underneath the armpits.
Here?
Both armpits. And push yourself back a little. There you go.
Oh, I see.
Now you're in position.
Now I break him.
Yeah, now, okay. There, what you would do here is reach over his head here, grab the wrist, and with both hands. Okay, now, don't take it this way. Bring it to me, because this is his weakest position here. And arch at the same time. There you go.
I see. Wonderful.
You understand about that, the angle there?
Yeah, so you take him to the weakest angle.
Yeah. The side he's strong. Here he's strong. Here, you've got no muscles that support the in-between position. So when you're attacking, you try to work the arm to that position. We're going to do ground wrestling in the knee, very basic stuff. And short sit out. We can show you a long sit out later for the switches and stuff. better, but right now we're going to work on the short sit out. So you got two basic stances. You got the low defense position, which is where you're sitting back on your heels, and the high defense position. Now, get a bit farther forward. Okay, watch. Guys, this is important. Yeah. You want your shoulders and your wrists aligned. Now, no matter how much weight I put on you, if your arms are locked, you're not going to feel it. But if your hand's here, and I put weight on you. Oh, yeah. You know, it's the same as we're talking about with the ankle submission. Where you get your shoulder completely. You would be, I'm sorry. But, you know,
Alignment,
yeah. And the alignment of the shoulder and the elbow. So it's the same thing to get the most power. Okay, now, the thing is there are two defense, the low and the high. The high is when you're going to attack or escape, and the low is a defense to take a break and get your second wind back, basically. Okay, now we're going to work on a short sit-out. Now a short sit-out, your feet should be together, okay, and you just sit to the side, guys. No, I don't want you to put your foot out. No, you do it like the amateur sit out, or what we call sit out. And that's where you plant the foot to sit out. I just want you to put your, that's exactly what it is. Okay, you do it. That's good. Now, stop, do it. But I want your bodies this way. More. There you go. Now come back. Now the other way. Good, come back. Okay. Oh, we used to do sets of this all the time. Like coaching Japan, and we would, you know, like 10 to the side, 5 sets. It's when the hip was good, not now. Okay, so now get in a high defense position. And go behind me. Now, the arm roll is an old-fashioned way of taking the guy on his back. It's not often used in the amateurs now because of the power wrestling and the scoring is a little different. In the old days, an arm rollers are very, very good. And for catch-can wrestling, very, very good. But what a guy would do if he's on the offense position, like this gentleman here, he wouldn't put his arm in too deep. He'd keep his arm short. So this is why, from the high position, you can grab the wrist. Now you do a short sit-out. Now then, the hand has come out, so now you put the hand back deep. Now you come back. Okay, adjust your left arm, then roll underneath. Put your hand in between his legs and drop his head. Okay, good. So that would be using a short sit out and arm roll. And his arms there. Okay, now drive this way. Drive into him and drop your weight. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's because of your arm position. So you want your arm position right here, but locked out here. Close your fingers. Okay, good. Now then, when you're going to do it, what you do is you turn your shoulders a little bit into it and put this hand here. Now then, just roll and it's yours. Hand in between and then get the head. You can get it that way or the other way, either way you like. Did you see how easy that was? And the thing is again, position. You've given yourself room to roll. But the arm position of the short sit out, it's like you pull it out, sit out, lock it, come back, roll. Yeah. Lock it, come back, go. Good. There you go. Put your hand in between his legs. Put your hand on the other side of the head. Okay, now then, all you've got to do is hook his leg with your right arm. Now, roll into his leg. Let go of his head. Now then, get the head. No, this one. There you go. What you should do is make a fist and put it in his armpit. Okay? And then put your hand on the head. There you go. There you go. Easy. Okay, good. But, I mean, that's just an example, you know what I mean? The thing is, you've got to make it work for you. Well, a defense position, you take him down and you're facing each other. It's normal that a guy will try to grab the head and around the arm. A good defense for this is what we call a sit-out. And can you guys turn around? There you go. So first, Alex has got to push up into a strong position. Then plant his left arm facing the way he's going to turn. As he puts his leg out, cocking the hip, he grabs the elbow, around the elbow. Now he sits as far underneath. Now grab the hand with the other hand. Now keep turning. Now there you go, bring the arm around. Good. Good. If you get that hand off the mat, there's a lot of submissions from there too. There you go. Okay, walk around a bit. Okay, now let his hand go to the mat. Now get your position. You've got no weight on it. There you go. Yeah, don't use your right arm.
There you go.
Whatever. Okay, good.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to run through those 10 positions and just show you a couple of the submissions, how they branch off. Now, mind you, Billy said that if we were to make a full it would take months and months and months to film something. So these are just to give you ideas.
Simple basics.
Simple basics. So I'll have Billy go ahead and lead and tell me what to do to show you guys. So
Okay,
head
so
on.
you're pulling up on the arm. Now, you slid his elbow. Now, when you let go of the elbow, he's going to pull his arm out normally. Now, you grab the wrist. Now, just push the wrist in this direction. Now, hook it with your leg. That's it. Then lock it, and then just lean back on the head. Okay, now stop. Another thing you can do here, stay there, is instead of getting the figure four, is don't get the figure four. Put this foot here, a little bit further out. Now then, grab the head, both hands. Now, he's got a good pain tolerance. So what you do is bend this foot backwards, and then push it through that way. And then lift the head. There you go.
So I'm sliding this foot back.
Yeah, and then his elbow takes a different angle there, and it'll tear the elbow.
And there's also, we have this too, right, where I'm hearing as I
So
slide
now
back,
he grabs, oh, sorry, yeah.
and I can straighten out
That's it, yeah.
and start pressing for
That's
an
it.
arm bar.
Yeah. Drop this leg a bit further back. There you go. Now press it.
Okay?
Yeah. It's again, your position, if your position's too high, you're not going to get it. So
I don't have the fulcrum.
You've got to slide just to the elbow. That's it. Then you push down your shoes.
So then the only other one that maybe we should show.
If he grabs you to try and pull you over.
So the first thing that I have to do is I have to try to scoot my position down so he doesn't take me over. So I scoot down a little bit. Now I'm going to take my arm and go, I'm just putting this down so you can see.
Yeah.
I'm putting this underneath here.
The elbow. Slide it
At
under
his
the
elbow with the blade of my hand.
Yeah.
Here. Okay? Now I'm going to grab my hands together, bring his shoulder up, and start grinding him. Okay?
Yep.
So as he clasps, I go under, I bring him up and into the shoulder this way. Okay? So that's this position. Now we'll go ahead
But
and
it's a basic. Okay.
basics, right?
Okay, now then. Flatten out a little bit so you get chest to chest. Okay, that. Now, one Jake has done now, he's jammed the razor part and the cutting blade of his forearm into Alex's jaw. And he's got the weight on there. Now, what he does is he rolls his other elbow so this arm comes up. Now he can grab it with this hand, pull the wrist in, and now he's got a top wrist lock.
So, transition.
Usher, just stop a second. Just, she's there, let go, go back. Now what I want you to do is not put your elbow on top, put your elbow on the mat.
Okay.
And now slide your elbow along the mat and then roll. Slide it so his arm moves up. No, you've got on top of it. There you go, now roll it. Now that arm's right there for you. Good. What it is, Jay, it's like you're pushing it with your hand, except you're doing it with your elbow, so that you're already into the rolling position.
Right.
So you can grab the wrist.
And also for maximum position,
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing this top wrist lock like this. It's better to get him like he's talking on the telephone.
That's it. That's it.
Right?
Exactly.
Because then once he's talking on the telephone, the arm comes out this way,
Yeah.
not down
Yeah.
in this way. Here, and then that way.
Change to the wrist. Yeah, but now, what you want to do, when you're going to do that, put your hand behind his neck.
This hand?
Yeah. Okay, now then pull his head up and take the arm out. There you go.
Okay. Now, the other thing that you can do if you come around here with the camera, so maybe double wrist lock.
Yeah.
So again, I transition around and I can grind the arm down this way. This hand being free, putting my hip into his face, grabbing, shortening it here. Now, if he locks his arm out, lock the arm out, here, grab the hand.
Then roll into it with your
Now I can roll into him.
Now then you drop the head. Push the head down. Okay.
The other thing being, now if he starts thinking he's going to bridge and he plants that foot to bridge, as soon as he goes, I grab here. Now I'm not going to drag his foot this way. I'm going to take my elbow and try to push it through to the mat right here. So I'm twisting inside of his knee joint. So cross body. So again, as I cross over, I'm turning his face with my hips. So I'm here, block, hip to the face, turning him over. Now simply I could slide over, take his head, start piking up. So what I'm doing is you okay?
Yeah, good.
I'm taking the pointy part of my shoulder, putting it in his chest, even if he puts his chin down to protect. When I take that front head, like put your chin down. I'm here, now I pike up, and as I pike up and walk backwards, pointy part of my chin just starts dragging and pulling his head up. And then I can pike down right there, drive down onto his trace.
It's not a joke, it's a gag, really. You gag the gag.
A gag. So, here, and back. Okay?
Yeah.
So the other one that you can do is if I'm here, as I go, bring this knee up. This is transitioning from crossbody to north-south. Put the knee on the face. Use the knee to turn his body as he goes. Catch the arm here. Put my hands down. If you come around to this side, by turning his head and clamping my knees together like Thigh Master, clamping them hard, you can see his head is turned face down into the mat. I'm clamping them hard, put the hands in, I'm using this arm to catch, because if I don't, he'll continue rolling. Okay? Now here, continue to roll. He's stuck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up about an inch. I'm posting on my feet. Look, my toes are in the mat. These are here. I'm going to lift his head up and twist this way. crooked head scissor.
Crooked heads, Wigan style.
So as he comes here and he starts turning, I catch the hand, lift up, and crank the head. Okay, one time full speed, you okay?
Yeah, good.
So I'm here, come around north from the head side, and maybe kneel down so you can get the low position of his head. So I'm here as I go, I come onto his face, and start that again. As he turns, here. Now I lift up, crank. Okay? Now the other thing is I can come right here, climb up, take the arm for straight arm bar, take the double wrist lock around, or I can do the same and take both. The neck crank, you okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's another submission set from the front north-south. Anything to add, Billy?
Not really, because there is just too many to go into. Now you want to confuse everybody. The thing is, where you learn how to change is on the reaction of what you are doing to the person. And each person will react a little bit different, because we're not like on a conveyor belt machine made. Everybody's different. Some guys are very supple. Some guys have got a high tolerance of pain. Even though you get a submission perfect, he's just don't want to quit on you. So that doesn't mean to say you can't beat him. It means to say you're not going to beat him with that. You change to something else. And the more technique that you have, the more submissions that you have, it's like the more bullets you have for a gun. You know, the first 6 in a 6-shooter, the first 6 don't work, you miss them, and you reload. If you don't have any bullets, you'll be. So you've got to have enough ammunition, and that's knowledge.
So we'll float around for our shin ride here. And again, I'm on top of the man. My toes are here. If I wanted to, I could just stand up if I need be. But meanwhile, I'm able to ride, and it's sort of uncomfortable for him because the shins are on the sensitive areas. Obviously, I can get down closer to the knees, start riding, and you can see his face. It's painful, so.
Yeah, but you see, what Jake's doing now is perfect. But the thing is, he doesn't have to walk backwards to do that. He's just got to take his knees a bit wide. Oh, yeah. So you don't have to make 2 moves.
Yeah.
You just change.
Without even taking the weight off.
Yeah.
So from here, I can also, if you were to bridge either direction, I can still put my knees down, have control or whatnot. I can even switch out for grapes here if I want. So I could simply come here, pass this along, and start working the leg as well. Now the next position is here. Again, I'm going to take my hand short, just the blade, go just under here. And I'm actually going to take this side of the blade, here, grab my hands. And all I have to do is clamp it tight to my body.
Just one thing.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to let, because a lot of guys do it and then they let the shoulder slide this way. You've got to lug your shoulder underneath. There you go. And then just turn your body. There you go.
Now all I have to do is grind up, move up the foot. From here, put the wedge in, turn it upwards. So it's here, I turn the wedge upwards as I move up the foot. Now what I want to do from here, once I've turned him, assuming I don't want that submission,
Oh, he's tough.
or he's tough, whatever, I'm just going to take it out, but I'm going to keep the leg underneath my body as I climb up. Take the cross body, cross face. Staying on it. Now the easiest submission from here, since his head is turned, I have a neck crank. Here. Very, very simple. But the other thing I can do is if you come down here for the camera, Brule, see I'm riding him and I'm trying to control him. I'm going to sit through and put my hip next to his hip. Sit in, grab it, hook it, grab the toe, toe hold. Really easy for the guy. Another thing I can do is go in, grab my toe, do the toe hold here. Okay? So now I can go front, north, south. And again, when I do it, I want his head right in the bread basket, right where my ribs are. And I kind of start arching. Now if you come around here and get low so you can see what I'm going to do to his chin, if he comes to all fours, as he comes up, I'm going to take my hands like a cup. I'm just going to cup on his chin here. And as he keeps coming up, I just bow into him. You okay? Yeah. So here, and I roll into him. So this, again, is a gag on him. Yeah. So then go ahead and lay him flat again. So now I can move around again for shin ride. And as I come up, what's going to happen before you come up? This leg is going to hook this ankle. So go ahead and come up. As he comes up, I hop off, scoop the leg, and sit on it. Okay? Hopefully high inside the knee, and I put my weight on it. This is called ball and chain. Now, from the positions, I hold his leg, hold the toe, and simply pull up on it. The other thing I can do for a breakdown is bring this arm up over the hip, and I turk with this leg now, and drive with the far leg. Here, and start turking. You'll also notice that if I keep the weight on the hip, keep this knee down, I can start levering the knee. Here. If I've got the side ride and come around to this side, as I keep the pressure in him, all I have to do is as I come, just sit down here to the side. Sit right next to his body, keep my leg in, here, grab the toe, and pull. Now if I want to make it extra hard, I just put this there as a block to maintain my weight.
You're in the tub ride. Squeeze your knees together and then just throw your hands out, arch you back and make them go flat over, bang. Now then, put your hand on the side of his head here. On the side of his head, the other hand.
This hand here.
This hand. Push his hand.
This
Push
hand?
his head.
His head here.
That's it. Then get the half muscle. And right on the top of the head. Now lever. Then take your hip the other way. There you go.
So, again, if I'm in the ride, look at my legs. I'm going the same direction as him with only one hook in. I don't have two hooks like you see in jiu-jitsu. I have one leg in, driving forward. I take the hand, push the head, come under the elbow, and my hand is a fist. Under the elbow, put the fist on the head, and wring him out like a dish rag.
His hips going that way and his elbows coming this way.
So, I'm wringing him the opposite direction. Thanks. It's a lot like what they're calling a twister. And it's similar to the wrestler's guillotine or the twister, but it's a lot easier to get. I don't have to work as hard.
This is a typical starting position in amateur wrestling or in a lot of different kinds of wrestling. We need to get a breakdown to get into a position to pin your opponent. And what we're going to do now, firstly, is to chop at the joint of the elbow, and grab the arm and lock it to his body. Then we're going to put our foot out sit through, roll back, turn. Then when you're there, put your head on the mat, kick over. Now drive into him with your body and trap his arm. Now the hand between the legs will stop him using his legs to turn. He can't bridge because the other arm's underneath the head, and he's also got his arm jammed between the two bodies. So it's a very effective pinfall for young wrestlers and amateur wrestlers and stuff. So all we need to do is to break the opponent down. So the first thing we're going to do is chop the elbow joint, grab his own hand and lock the opponent's arm close to his body. Then we're going to stick our left leg out and then sit through with the right, roll back, turn, put your forehead on the floor so you can cross over, and now drive straight into him so that his arm's trapped, his shoulders are flat. He's put the hand between the legs so the man can't use his hips to turn to get to safety, and he's got the head trapped. So that's a good pin. Okay, we need to break him down again before we go into the pin. So this time I need the weight off his arm that he's defending with. So I'm going to reach across his face, grab the arm, lift him so the weight's off, then slide down to the elbow. Once it's to the elbow, that arm's mine. Then with my other arm, I'm going to reach underneath, grab his elbow, then change to a 45-degree angle and drive forward. Push, 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 push. Don't stop driving. Okay. That's basically it. The thing is with catch wrestling is it's physical chess. It's so much fun that you never want to get, once you've learned it or got into it, you never want to get out of it. Hence my old battered body. But the big point is this, that there is so many moves, so many counters, so many different reactions. There's not one set way to do anything. You have to adjust. You go for what move you're going for, but you've got to adjust to how your opponent his reflexes are, or his reaction is. So there's no saying, well, oh, I can do this or I can do that. You can be the greatest performer in the world, greatest wrestler, greatest technician, but on a certain day with a certain guy, you're not going to get what you want maybe. So you just have to adjust. If you decided you're not going to get it, you do not waste time or energy trying to force it. You change and start working on something else. And it's physical chess. There's no nearly getting it right. If it's not 100% right, it's wrong. And if all the moves you learn and do, whatever it is, when you're in a match or you're sparring hard or whatever, and you do it, if it's easy, you've done it right. If it's hard, it means you've got to afterwards think about what was wrong. Next time I'll have to adjust this knee 2 inches forward, 2 inches back, or adjust my body weight, you know. But when it becomes hard, then there's something wrong, because the right position and timing, everything should be easy. But it isn't. If it was easy, everybody would be a world champion.